Hello, I'm Camille Keegan, reporting for Africa Today TV. Akon, can you tell us a little bit about what inspired you to start Akon Lighting Africa?
Absolutely. Ultimately, it started with me just wanting to electrify my own neighborhood. You know, I was raised in Senegal, in Dakar, small city, small village. And when I left and came to the US, pretty much I was one of those kids that just played in the sand, barefooted, nappy-headed kid, no electricity, no clean water. But it was one of those life necessities that you just enjoyed because you didn't know nothing better existed, you know? So when I moved to the States, clearly it was a complete culture difference.
Culture shock.
Clearly, it was more of a shock. I was like, wow, it's like the Jetsons, you know what I mean? Yeah. Big, high-rise buildings, cars zooming, zoo, electricity everywhere, clean water out the faucet. You know what I mean? Like, this is what you would pay for. You get it for free, you know?
Probably a lot noisier, too.
Whoa, so it was one of those things. But then I got so accustomed to it, so every time I used to go back home, I would be missing so much because I had experienced what I didn't have before. So I used to always make this pledge that one day I'm going to come back and focus on figuring out how to build infrastructure in Africa. And of course, to begin building infrastructure, you can't not do it without energy. Yeah.
Very true. It's hard to imagine not having access to electricity at all.
Especially when you was raised with it.
Yes,
I know.
So
this is like a luxury for me right now.
Yeah, here we don't quite understand that as fully, definitely, as you do.
Yeah.
Well, can you tell me a little bit about the journey you've gone through since you started, since this was an idea, and how it came to fruition?
Yeah, it was actually a journey because coming into it, I wasn't quite sure how to accomplish what I wanted to accomplish. Back in 2010, I ran into some partners who I seeked that was in an energy business per se, and then the goal was to build some, power plants throughout Africa.
Mm-hmm.
So we started working with them for a brief, and I realized how crazy this was. I was like, whoa, this is a lot. You know what I mean? Very
bigger
political,
than you expected.
Way bigger than I expected to be. And then I didn't know too much about energy. So I was like, man, this might be a little bit much. Then I started to realize all the pushbacks and challenges I would have to face. So I said, let me just focus on the rural areas because actually that's where it's needed the most. And that's when I got into the whole solar idea. So I pulled my partners in, Sean, who introduced me to Samba. And together we came with a real scheme to really pull some real resources to build solar panels, solar systems, home systems, streetlights, all for the rural areas, and just be a part of the process.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
How long has it taken you from when you first began your journey, and how much have you accomplished so far?
Oh man, from the moment that we decided, okay, solar is the initiative, it's been since 2013.
Wow.
The original initiative was to light up 1 million homes in a year. And I mean, because of the demand, we actually was able to exceed that. We ended up now we're currently in 16 countries.
Wow.
In like 2.5, 3 years. So we accomplished more than a lot of major energy companies in 10, 15 years, in less than 3 years, So we're definitely moving at lightning speed, but we're also involving the community. Like the locals are actually a part of what we're doing. We also built a Selectra University, which is more like an academy that will bring in all the locals or anyone who wants to learn more about renewable energies. We train them, training skilled workers, technicians, just kind of bringing them into that way they could be trained to not only install, but also maintain the equipment on the grounds as we build these contracts as well.
So is that just for anyone that's interested? If they want to, they can come in and learn?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a wide open academy for that. We have specific scholarships that we actually give out to honor students that actually are in the energy or renewable energy space to kind of fast forward the knowledge because we're trying to train trainers who we can ship out to train the locals in those multiple areas.
Yeah, so you're not just lighting Africa, you're also opening jobs and more opportunities to the people there.
That's the key. I mean, the key is to empower the people because when they're empowered, things can happen faster. They're in a position to do more, and the confidence level raises to a point to where they feel like something needs to be done. So then they can give us a helping hand because this is a collective effort. I don't think no one company or one solution is going to fix the problem in Africa. It has to be a collective effort.
It's an all-around
100%.
problem. That's, very interesting. So besides this, I also saw that you have a confidence foundation for underprivileged children. So that's another way you're able to help people in Africa, correct?
Yeah, confidence is based more on the educational system, which my mom actually runs.
So do those tie together at all? Since this
clearly.
is educational?
The foundation actually ties from a different sector because ultimately with what we're doing with Akon Lighting Africa is for profit. So I can't really mix for profit and profit together clearly because Select is still an American-owned company, you know. So we don't mix the foundations together, but we do, you know, recruit kids from those rural areas that were active to be a part of what we're doing with Akon Lighting Africa.
Okay, so is there one university, or how easy can the people access it?
Yeah, currently it's only one. Our first academy is built in Mali, which is in West Africa, next door to Guinea-Conakry. And ultimately, we have over 200 students as a start, you know.
What are the age ranges?
Oh, no, age ranges from 18 to
whatever.
I mean, the idea is just, you got to just be in it. Because the thing is, in Africa, it's majority all youth there. You know, 65% of Africa is all youth. So our main focus is youth. Majority of them is youth. I don't think we have anyone there under 30. I mean, over 30.
Over 30.
You know, everyone is very young and very smart, skilled guys. A lot of them might have did some, courses even in the States and came back home. A lot of those guys are actually honorable students within their own communities. Because we flew kids in from Morocco, from Ghana, from Guinea, from Nigeria, from Senegal, all parts of Africa to be a part, you know. And then there's, of course, local Malians who actually enroll as well.
Wow, that's amazing. Is there a number you can put to how many people you think you're providing jobs for, or, you know, lining up, helping them find jobs at least?
Well, I think the way is, because those numbers will differently vary as you go, but the idea is to, you know, employ as many people as we possibly can. And I think every, situation is going to employ people. You know, we're currently almost at 5,000 people that works or affiliated to what we're doing with Akon Lighting Africa.
And then just a couple of years then since the school, or?
Oh yeah, the school we just launched this year. We just launched the school this year. So this is like the beginning of huge,
everything.
You know, and eventually we want to, you know, the academy will branch out through all the countries that we're in. We're looking for partners now.
So what's your timeline for what are you, and what do you see coming in the next year, 2 years, 5 years?
Well, our timeline is ASAP.
As soon as possible.
Because we know at the end of the day, this is a long-term goal. This is nothing that you can accomplish in 5, 10, 15, because ultimately it's going to continue. Like even now, when you look at fully developing countries, we're fully developed, but yet we're still moving on to whatever the next energy source is, because climate change is now the issue. So now they're converting everything that they're doing now into renewable energy. So I don't think energy is ever going to be a position where it just stops growing. Yeah. You know, but you can say the development of it, though, we want to do everything within the next, before 10 years, for sure.
Okay. And is there any way that people can help with this or contribute in any way? Volunteer or anything in a small form by, you know, individuals or anything like that? Or how do you go about finding help and funds for the Akon Lighting Africa Foundation?
Well, you know, you can log on to akonlightingafrica.com and get all the information that you need to be a part, whether you want to be an investor, whether you want to be a volunteer, or you want to intern for a certain amount of time, because ultimately we're just looking for skilled workers, people that picks up pretty quick, that wants to learn more about it, that wants to be a part of the growth, and eventually we'll train them, eventually hire them, and they will. I mean, this is a career.
Yes.
Like, we're trying to really, you know, harness the talent and the resources that can really help grow the business and also grow themselves.
Well, that's very inspiring, all of it. It's very much a pleasure to meet you and be able to discuss all of this. And I look forward to seeing where Akon Lighting Africa goes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions you want to follow up? Here's one other thing. How would you inspire our young generation to help bring change to the world?
Yep.
How would you inspire our younger generation to bring change to the world the way you have?
I'm hoping that my actions will inspire them, you know, because a lot of times you get to a position where you are blessed to have celebrity and be in a position where you have access to so many people, right? And majority of the people that I knew growing up, or people that I might have followed growing up, you hear a lot of things about what they do, but you will rarely ever see it. You hear about it, so you start to wonder, is it all for publicity? Are they marketing themselves for the next project? And I don't want to be one of those guys. I really want to do something that really was something that I felt and had the passion for, that felt that was needed to be done, but some that would also help to create my legacy as well too.
Yeah.
So I think the best way is to just know what that is, and fulfill it. Like, you have to really execute it and do it from the heart and let it be sincere when it's done.
I have one more question, I think. Can I just ask it separately? Yeah. Sorry. What was I going to say now? Never mind.
You forgot it?
I'm telling you, I'm very new to this.
It's too funny.
What was it? I don't know. Darn it. Sorry.
It's okay.
Thank